Welcome back inside the MLB Radio Vaults. I'm Matt Waymeyer. The 1990 World Series could have been baseball's adaptation of David versus Goliath, though certainly no slouch after a 91-win campaign. The Cincinnati Reds were heavy underdogs against a defending world champion Oakland A's club, which had racked up 103 victories and were appearing in their third straight fall classic. But behind some timely hitting and the vaunted Nasty Boys bullpen, the Reds had raced out to a stunning 3-0 series lead. The date was October 20th, 1990, and the Reds were on the doorstep of their first title in 14 years. With the call of Game 4 of the 1990 World Series is longtime radio voice of the Reds, Marty Brenneman.
Good evening, everybody, from the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Welcome once again to Reds baseball. It's game number 4 of the 1990 World Series. The Reds are looking to finish it off tonight after an 8-3 victory here last night to take a 3-0 lead over the defending world champions. Tonight's pitching matchup is the same as we had in Game 1 last Tuesday night at Riverfront. It'll be Jose Rijo against Dave Stewart, a matchup that resulted in a Cincinnati 7-0 victory. We'll be back to take a look at the Game 4 starting lineups in just a moment. If you're ready now, the starting lineups tonight. First for Cincinnati, Barry Larkin will lead off and play shortstop. Batting second and in center field, Billy Hatcher. Paul O'Neill will be in right field. He'll bat third. Hitting fourth in left field, Eric Davis. Batting number 5, the designated hitter, Hal Morris. Hitting sixth, third baseman Chris Sabo. Todd Benzinger will bat seventh. He'll be at first base. Hitting eighth, the catcher, Joe Oliver. Batting ninth at second base, Mariano Duncan. And doing the pitching, right-hander Jose Rijo. Once more for the Reds, Larkin at short, Hatcher in center, O'Neill in right. Davis in left field, Morris to DH, Sabo at third. While the bottom third again has Benzinger at first, Oliver catching, and Duncan at second base. For the Oakland Athletics, Ricky Henderson will lead off, and he'll play left field. Batting second in right field, Willie McGee. Batting third, the center fielder, Dave Henderson. Hitting fourth, DH, Harold Baines. Hitting number 5 at third base, Carney Lansford. Batting sixth, the catcher, Jamie Quirk. Hitting number 7 at first base, Mark McGuire. Batting eighth, second baseman, Willie Randolph. Hitting ninth at shortstop, Mike Gallego. And doing the pitching for Oakland, right-hander Dave Stewart. Again for the Athletics, Ricky Henderson in left, McGee in right, Dave Henderson in center. Baines the DH, Lansford at third, Court catching, with McGuire at first, Randolph at second, and Gallego at short. The Reds and the Athletics, the fourth game of the 1990 World Series. We'll be back with a play-by-play action in just a moment. The Athletics are taking the field. Of course, the standing room only house here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, Dave Stewart. Given the baseball tonight, trying to stave off 1990 World Series elimination. But probably the bigger story tonight, as you know, I've already noted by now, the absence of Jose Canseco from the Oakland lineup. Tony La Russa implied after last night's 8-3 loss that he might well sit down as superstar tonight, and that's exactly what he's done, putting Willie McGee in right field, playing Dave Henderson in center. An interesting move, and I guess to some extent, Joe, a very shocking move, because while he's only 1 for 11, he can run into 1 or 2 in a ball game and change the complexion of it.
Well, there's no question about it. I think last night, Marty, it kind of gives you a little feeling what Canseco can mean to you just mentally when he came to the plate with 2 out, or 2 on, and hit the fly ball to O'Neill down the right field line, and so having him out of the lineup is all right. I'm sure that Tony has decided, well, we got to try to get something put together here that might score some runs, and this is what he has come up with. And so is Jamie Quirk catching tonight, taking over from Terry Steinbach, and I don't know if maybe Terry's arm might be bothering him where he was hit by Larkin last night or not, but Tony La Russa is shaking up their lineup and hoping for some offense, and hopefully it doesn't work, and the Reds can jump on the old airplane about noon tomorrow and head back to a big celebration.
Well, the next 2.5 to 3 hours will tell the story, although we can tell you that most of the so-called experts who have covered this series feel like it's almost a mortal lock that Dave Stewart will pitch well enough to win this game tonight for Oakland. You know that no team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit to win a World Series. And Oakland with its back flat up against a proverbial wall, going to work right now with their 22-game winner on the mound. Barry Larkin leading it off. 357 batter in this World Series. Stewart delivers. The pitch is taken high for a ball, and this game is underway. 64-degree game time temperatures amidst a setting sun here in the Bay Area. Winds out of the west at 13 miles an hour. Larkin waiting on the pitch, and he takes a strike, and the count evens at 1-1. The problem that Stewart had in Cincinnati was his inability to throw strikes. Basically had trouble getting his breaking ball over, and as a result was not around very long as the Reds went on to post that 7-0 victory. Here is the 1-1 pitch, and Larkin takes it way inside and off the mid of catcher Jamie Quirk. 2 balls and 1 strike. Defensively, Mark McGuire at first, Willie Randolph at second, Mike Gallego at short, Carney Lansford at third. No changes in the Oakland infield. In left field, Ricky Henderson, Dave Henderson in center, with Willie McGee in right, replacing Canseco, and Jamie Quirk making his first appearance behind the plate. Larkin swings and hits it in the air. It'll be handled by either Henderson or McGee. It'll be Henderson moving toward right center to make the catch. So Larkin retired, leading off the game on a fly ball to center. Bringing up Billy Hatcher. Hatcher taking a shot at a couple of World Series records tonight. Babe Ruth holds the World Series record for hits in a 4-game series with 10. Hatcher has 9 right now. There's a strike. And in a 4-game World Series, Babe Ruth also holds a batting average at .625, and Hatcher comes into Game 4 tonight batting .750. He's down a strike as Stewart kicks and throws, and the pitch is fouled back, and it's 0-2, just like that. Billy collected a couple of hits last night and 5 times up after getting 7 hits in his first 7 times up in the first 2 games in Cincinnati. But in a hole, 2 strikes as Paul O'Neill waits on deck. Hatcher levels the bat. Stewart rocks to the windup, bringing it on up there, and Hatcher hit. And apparently got it on the elbow, and Billy in all sorts of pain. He is down and, I mean, hurting rather badly. Up the third base line, he went down immediately. Larry Starr, the Reds trainer, is out there, along with Lou Piniella, who has just now arrived on the scene. That ball might have gotten Hatcher on the left wrist.
Either the wrist or the hand, and a fastball hit him right on the back of the left hand. And certainly we hope nothing serious, but Billy's certainly in quite a bit of pain. And I don't know whether that was a message or not. I would have to think so. You don't come quite that far inside, do you?
Yeah, I don't think so. And it's also interesting. This is the first time I can recollect in 4 games that an Oakland pitcher has pitched inside.
That's severely, we'll say.
Yeah.
Certainly it was a fastball, no question about it. And hitting Billy on that hand, and he is still down. And hopefully, again, it's nothing serious. But that's something that, you look at a series like it, and the way the Reds have, in a sense, handled the Oakland pitching staff throughout, and you say, well, do you retaliate? Well, under the circumstances, no.
No, I agree with you.
Say, well, someday we'll have a chance. But that's kind of the way it is in the American League. Pitchers, of course, not having to hit and
absolutely
drill people all they want to, and knowing that they don't have to step to the plate, and somebody else has to bear the retaliation. And normally, I guess, in this case, it would be Jamie Quirk if you chose to do that.
Right.
Thank you.
Interestingly enough, though, comments in the papers this morning from the commissioner of baseball, Fay Vincent, who came out very vocally against the designated hitter and said there's a move underway right now on his part to try and maybe phase it out over the next couple of years. He is not a fan of the designated hitter. He wants to see it outlawed in Major League Baseball to make the rules the same for both the National and American League, and I think all of us in the National League would love to see that day will come and baseball will return to the American League as it ought to be played.
Well, that's true, and it's a shame the 2 leagues don't agree on it, but baseball was meant to have the pitcher hitting and so on and so forth, and hopefully Mr. Vincent can get the job done, the commissioner. It would be nice to be equal, and certainly I think he would have more in favor of returning to the National League style as opposed to the DH style.
Herm Winningham had gone down to the bullpen to start loosening up, but at least for the moment, his services will not be needed. Hatcher will remain in the ball game. He's down at first base now, and the Reds have him on with one out for Paul O'Neill. Paul batting 111 in the World Series, had his first hit a single here last night, has driven in a run. Quick step off by Stewart. He did that an awful lot in the short time he was around at Riverfront last Tuesday night. Billy bouncing off the bag, O'Neill leveling the bat. The right-hander stretches and throws. The runner goes. Here's a throw down by Quirk, and got him. The shortstop took the throw. Mike Gallego to knock off Billy Hatcher stealing. So the Reds waste no time testing the arm of Jamie Quirk, who started all of 26 games in the 1990 regular year. He throws a strike down to Gallego, and Hatcher's gone. And the 0-1 pitch to O'Neill is taken at the knees for a strike. I'll make that an even count now, a 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 down, nobody on. Here's a pitch, and it's low and inside, getting away from the Oakland catcher. Now you see the replay, and he's safe. Appeared to tag him on the seat of the pants, and his foot was already on the bag. But that old deal about if the ball gets down well ahead of the runner, they're going to call him out more often than not. Here's a check swing liner foul down beyond the Oakland third base dugout. Plate umpire tonight from the American League, Ted Hendry at first, Randy Marsh of the National, Bruce Fremming again filling in for Larry Barnett of the American League. Fremming at second base, Barnett ill with a virus. Here's a line drive, fair down the left field line, or foul ball. Paul hit that ball hard. Mark McGwire hardly had enough time to react before it was by him, but just foul. So Fremming at second, filling in for Barnett. Over at third from the National, Frank Pulley. On the left field line, American League umpire Rocky Rowe, and on the right field line from the National League, Jim Quick. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Nobody on here in the top of the first. And the pitch from Stewart is taken in the dirt. His control is not exactly up to snuff here in the first inning tonight. 3 balls, 2 strikes. O'Neill trying to become a 2-out base runner for the man on deck, Eric Davis. And the payoff pitch is coming, and it's bounced to second. Willie McGee makes a pickup, flipping on to McGwire, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. After a half inning of play, it's the Reds nothing, and the A's are coming up. Jose Rijo standing behind the mound, getting his thoughts together before making his second World Series start. He was a winning pitcher, as we mentioned, in the opener at Riverfront Stadium last Tuesday night, pitching 7 innings of 7-hit baseball. Walked 2, struck out 5. He became only the 3rd Dominican-born player to win a game in a World Series. Joaquin Andujar won 2 for the Cardinals in the 1982 series. Here's Ricky Henderson, and the pitch is taken for a strike. While Alejandro Pena beat the A's once in the 1988 series for the Dodgers in Game 1. Kind of interesting with the influx of players to the major leagues from the Dominican Republic that there have only been 3 pitchers from that country to win a game in a World Series. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a series that has seen the A's as a team slump and slump badly. Henderson is the exception, batting .417 at a home run here last night. He swings and hits a very high fly ball to left. Eric Davis waiting on it, and he makes the catch. 1 out. That'll bring up Willie McGee, who gets a call in right field tonight for Canseco. This reminder, listen to the big one next week for your chance to send your family to Walt Disney World, all from 700 WLW. Now, Willie McGee, who's been up 6 times in the series, has had 1 hit. He started Game 1, had a hit in 5 times up, and the pitch is fouled off. The former Cardinal, a switch hitter up there, of course, batting left-handed. Lou Piniella and Stan Williams will pay very close attention to that blister on the finger of Jose Rijo. And see if that causes him any problems in the early innings. The pitch is in the dirt, dug out by Oliver. 1 ball and 1 strike. he certainly didn't appear to be concerned about it when we chatted with him down in the dugout when the Reds were preparing to take batting practice earlier this afternoon. 1-1 the count. McGee batted .324 over the course of the year, his combined numbers with both the Cardinals, where he won the National League batting crown despite being traded in August to Oakland. He lines one over third. That's a fair ball. Foul ball down the left field line. Well, it had some hook on it, and just foul as it went over third base and on down the left side. A ball and 2 strikes. Just for the record, and I'm sure you've probably heard it since last night's 8-3 win gave the Reds a 3-0 lead. Teams taking that kind of lead have won all 17 World Series in which it occurred, and just 3 of the 17 teams, down 0-3, have managed to prolong the series by winning Game 4. And all 3 of those Game 4 winners have gone on to lose Game 5 and end the series. Line drive into left center field, and Davis made the catch. No, he didn't. The ball got away from him, and Eric is injured as McGee goes to second base.
Marty, Eric's down, and I'm sure he jammed that left shoulder, and this isn't starting off too good at all. Credit to double to Willie McGee, and once again, Eric had the ball, and he is in a whole bunch of pain as he is down flat of his face, and Larry Starr and Lou Piniella on their way out. And Eric, great try, had it in his glove, and then when he hit the grass, the ball jarred out. And hopefully it's just a little aggravation, but he is definitely in a lot of pain. You can see him where well, it could well be his right shoulder as we look at it now. Thought maybe because of that left shoulder that it could be it, but now the way he landed, definitely it jammed that right shoulder, and we'll see how this works out. And Eric sitting up now, but still Larry Starr looking at him and checking things out. So, boy, we have had enough this inning already. Hatcher hitting hit by the pitch, and Eric now, well, they jammed his, well, now it looks like they're looking at his right rib cage. Larry Starr right at the his right rib cage, and maybe in hitting the turf, the elbow came up and got him in the ribs.
Well, Davis still down flat on his back as Larry Starr examines him, and we saw Hatcher, of course, get hit in the first inning by the Dave Stewart pitch. There seemed to be some question for a while as to whether or not he'd be able to remain in the ball game. And now Davis making the type of effort that he always makes. In fact, had the ball in his glove when he then hit the turf. The ball fell free. McGee went to second for a double, and they are still examining Eric Davis out in left field. And he is still flat on his back and looks to be in some discomfort. There's no question about that. Rijo has thrown a few pitches down to Joe Oliver, waiting for when we get back to play, and Dave Henderson will be at the plate with McGee at second and 1 out.
You just wonder also if Eric had the wind knocked out of him along with this, and apparently he's in pretty good pain, so we'll see what Lou decides to do here. But Eric's still down flat of his back, and Larry Starr now reaching around the backside of the right rib cage and seeing if he can find a tender spot on as far as Eric's ribs, and hopefully it's nothing that serious, but you just don't know when you're down that long. It could be cracked ribs, or it could have pulled the cartilage loose, whatever.
Rijo now summoning Joe Oliver. They meet midway between the plate and the mound. I'm sure this long delay is not helping Jose Rijo, while Herm Winningham is all attention directed out toward left field, where Eric Davis is still down, and the Reds very shortly are going to have to make a decision one way or the other as to whether or not Eric's going to be able to remain in the ball game or have to come out. He's now in about a seated position, but he's still hurting. Mike Lehine, Dr. Michael Lehine, the Reds team physician, is now going out to take a look. So in a span of less than an inning, we've seen Billy Hatcher get hit on the left hand, and we've seen Eric Davis suffer some type of an injury. and it appears to be somewhere in the rib area. He made a fine effort on that ball and, in fact, had it before hitting hard on the grass and losing it, going tumbling over. And they've got the trainer out there, Danny Wright, the assistant trainer to Larry Starr, as well as team physician Dr. Michael Lehine. And it looks like Eric, I'm sure, is going to make every effort in the world to try and stay in the game. He's walking around right now, but has a very definite grimace on his face, breathing in and out, inhaling and expelling air. And I'm sure under the circumstances, given the fact that we're in a World Series, these umpires are going to be a whole lot more lenient in terms of the time that is taken to make a determination on a player like Davis as to whether or not he can stay in or have to leave.
Well, it appears the problem is in his the lower back, the right side, and that's what he's reaching for. And now the fans are getting a little upset with Eric, and I don't know whether it's Glenn Braggs and Herm Winningham loosening up, but we'll see if Lou decides to make a change with Eric. But apparently, well, as you say, Marty, going to try to stay in the ball game, but the way and the discomfort he appears to be having, I would think not, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, he's going to stay in, Joe. He just took his cap. It looked like Bruce Fremming had the cap. He handed it to him, and Eric is going to make an attempt. So a horde of folks leaving the field. Lou Piniella, Larry Starr, Danny Wright, and Michael Lehine, the Reds team doctor, heading back toward the first base dugout. Eric down in a squat position now out in left field. Still appears to be moving around rather gingerly out there, so that's something to keep an eye on. He's due to lead off the top of the second. Here's Dave Henderson. Hit 271 during the year with 20 home runs. A .333 World Series batter. No homers or runs batted in, but he's got Willie McGee out there at second base with one away. Henderson now with the DH Harold Baines on deck, and Rijo trying to dodge a bullet here in the first inning. He checks McGee back at second. He comes to the plate, and Henderson hits it in the air. Out in short center field, Mariano Duncan ranging back on the grass to make the catch, and that's out number 2. Now Harold Baines will step in. Hit his first postseason home run last night, and it was a rocket into the seats in right field with a runner aboard in the second inning that gave the A's a brief 2-1 lead. His only hit in 5 plate appearances, of course, was not in their lineup for either game 1 or 2 at Riverfront due to the absence of the designated hitter. Baines, something of a defensive liability in the twilight of what has been a very good career for him, but he can still swing that bat. Left-handed batter. McGee at second, 2 out. Rijo throws, and the pitch is up a ball. Well, Jose did not break tradition, despite the fact that he was in Oakland rather than in Cincinnati. As far as his game day meal is concerned, here comes a 1-0 pitch, and Baines takes that one way high. Jose eats pasta, lasagna to be exact, on every day that he starts a ball game in Cincinnati from Campanello's, the Italian restaurant in downtown Cincinnati, and they Federal Expressed it out here to him. He said the kitchen at the hotel, the Park 55 hotel that we stay in downtown San Francisco, heated it up for him. He said the garlic bread was outstanding, and so he feels like, as many players do, a superstition that maybe that'll give him a little extra added advantage against the A's tonight. They just decided to go ahead and walk Baines. Go down as an intentional walk, and it brings to the plate third baseman Carney Lansford. 2 on, 2 out. Bottom of the first, no score. Lansford takes the strike. He's hitting .273 in the first 3 games without a run batted in. 3 hits and 11 times up. Got McGee at second. He's got Baines at first. 2 men out, and Lansford lines it back to the middle for a base hit. That's going to bring McGee around. Henderson, or Baines, will stop at second, and the Athletics take a 1-0 lead. Single by Carney Carney Lansford. And that is something that I'm sure manager Tony La Russa hopes that he will see a whole lot more of tonight, because this ball club, in that respect, has struggled big time in this World Series. The inning continues for Jamie Quirk. He's a left-handed batter. We mentioned he started all of 26 games during the regular season. So a run is in with 2 men out and 2 men on base. First RBI of the series for Lansford. And the first at-bat of this World Series for Jamie Quirk. Checks his swing. It's ball 1. Teammate of Danny Jackson's back in 1985 when they were in the playoffs in the World Series, Kansas City Royals. Quirk taking a strike. It evens at 1-1. McGee double with 1 out. Henderson, after the long delay, checking on the well-being of Eric Davis in left field, hopped to second, but Baines got an intentional walk, and they made that backfire. Lansford did with a base hit to center field. A couple of hits in the inning. With an intentional walk, the A's have scored, and it's a 1-1 count on Jamie Quirk. Rijo kicks and throws, and the pitch is swung out and missed. He batted .281 during the season at 26 RBIs, 3 home runs. Through the bat next would be first baseman Mark McGuire. Making Rijo wait just a moment as he steps back in now, levels the bat. Jose to the belt and to the plate, and it's taken inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It was interesting watching Rijo renew old acquaintances with a lot of the athletic fans prior to the 3rd game of the series here yesterday. A lot of folks that were solidly in his corner when he was a member of this organization before being traded over to Cincinnati in the Dave Parker deal. 2-2 pitch, and that's inside. He almost hit him, and the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So the runners will be moving. Harold Baines at second, Carney Lansford at first. And a 3-2 count on Jamie Quirk. Outfield playing the left-handed batter straight away. And Rijo cranking up that payoff pitch, and it's a swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that ends the inning. But the Oakland Athletics get a run on 2 hits with 2 left. And at the end of 1 complete, it's the A's 1 and the Reds nothing. 1-0 Oakland at the end of an inning. Another bad news. Eric Davis leaving the ball game. He is being escorted down behind home plate in that runway that leads up into the Reds clubhouse, along with Dr. Michael Lahan. Eric still appears to be in quite a bit of discomfort, so he is finished for this ball game. And I'm sure that Lou Piniella is going to be very interested to know what the ultimate result of whatever tests or x-rays they run on Eric, especially in the event that the A's win this ball game tonight and extend it beyond a 4th game.
Marty, in the continuous replay of Eric trying to make the catch, it looks like, when you really look at it, is when he hit the turf, his elbow came up and hit him in the ribs. And you'd have to feel that quite possibly Eric might have a cracked rib or pull the cartilage away from a rib cage. We'll certainly just have to wait and see, but it's a little too much discomfort to think it's nothing serious.
That means that Glenn Braggs will come to the plate and pinch hit. Braggs has had only 1 appearance so far in this World Series, and that was Game 2 on Wednesday night in Cincinnati when he pinch hit in the 8th inning and got an RBI on a fielder's choice, a ball that he hit up the middle. Mike Gallego was only able to get a force out at second base and was unable to get the double play as Billy Hatcher, who had triple leading off the inning, came in to score to tie it up at 4-4. So Braggs will pinch hit and no doubt remain in the ball game. And interesting story and a sidelight to this World Series as it relates to Braggs and the state of Hawaii. Braggs is the first baseball player to play and graduate from the University of Hawaii, and all of a sudden he has become a local hero in the 50th state. Mike Evans, who is a morning radio personality and an old friend out in Honolulu, just arrived into San Francisco today and brought some goodies from the islands for the Reds players and also for Glenn Braggs. He takes the ball. There was a flowered lei for each player in their locker when they arrived here at the Oakland Coliseum today, along with a box for each player of chocolate-covered macadamia nuts.
And they were delicious.
I can imagine that they were. Also a proclamation from the governor of Hawaii, so he's got one state solidly behind him. And pinch hitting for Eric Davis here in the second inning as he takes the strike, and the count is 1-1. Here's a pitch from Stewart, swing at a miss, and he broke the bat. The bat breaks and falls right on the plate. All that Glenn had when he completed his swing was a bad handle, and we've seen that happen before down in Atlanta not too long after he came over from Milwaukee.
The second time that has happened, and he swings and misses, and the bat and his follow-through hits his back, and that's when it snaps. So just a little bit of the strength of one Glenn Braggs.
A ball and 2 strikes as he comes back out of the dugout with a new bat in his hand. Oakland in front 1-0. Lansford single home run with 2 out in the first inning. Eric Davis is left because of an injury, and Braggs, who will forevermore be remembered in Reds baseball history for that fine catch he made on Carmelo Martinez with a runner on in the 9th inning of the clinching 6th game of the league championship series. He hits a high fly ball back into left field. Ricky Henderson drifting back, and just short of the warning track, he's got it. One down here in the top of the second. Braggs a fly ball to left. It brings up Hal Morris for the second straight night, the DH, and he swings and misses. Hal has really not swung the bat particularly well in the World Series, as the one hitting 11 times up will attest to. He's driven in a run and an outstanding league championship series against Pittsburgh. He hits it foul off third. The ball heading back toward the seats and will drop well back of the Oakland dugout. 0-2. Here's Sabo on deck, the hero of last night's 8-3 victory. Morris in a hole, 2 strikes. Stewart looks for the sign from Quirk in the windup, and the pitch. And it's high for a ball. We'll give Hal a lot of room down the right field line. Here's the pitch, and he checks his swing on a pitch down and in. The third base umpire gives the call. Frank Foley, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Stewart made 19 starts during the 1990 season following an Oakland loss. The A's have won 13 of those 19 starts, and Stewart himself is 12-6 with 1 no decision. So he has certainly been a stopper, as you would expect a guy who was 22-11 to be. Here's the fly ball to left. Henderson will play that one with no problem. 2 out. Flies to left. Morris follows suit, and Sabo will be the batter with 2 out and nothing going on. When you hear about a player in any sport having a fine all-around night, that tag certainly applied to Sabo last night. 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. He also set a World Series record by accepting 10 chances at third base without an error. The pitch is in for a strike. He's batting .500. In the World Series with the 2 home runs, and he's driven in 5 runs. Stewart bringing it, and Sabo taking it outside a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the break-even pitch. Sabo taking a strike on the inside corner. 1-2. Working with a 1-run lead early, and a count advantage against the right-handed batting Chris Sabo with 2 out. The pitch, and it misses way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Should this game go to number 5 tomorrow night, it would be the final game to be played here in Oakland should it go past 5 games, and the probables in that one would be Danny Jackson, a left-hander against right-hander Bob Welsh. 2-2 pitch. And he swings and fouls it off the plate. Goes bouncing off the third base line.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Doctor number 15. Doctor number 15. Please report to the A's clubhouse.
Well, they just made an appeal for a doctor here in the stadium. They're designated by numbers. They said report to the A's clubhouse. Wonder if they possibly have X-ray equipment over on the Oakland side, because you would certainly have to think that appeal for the doctor here in the Oakland Coliseum as having something to do with Eric Davis. It's holding at 2-2 on Sabo. Stewart working, and Sabo lining one by Gallego and into left field for a base hit. Swing and a miss by Benzinger. 14 last night, 14 in the extra inning win on Wednesday night, and then 38 hits in the 3 games, batting .342 as a team. Stewart, of course, a tall order as the Reds bid to win this World Series in a 4-game sweep, and they're on the short end of a 1-0 count here in the second. Sabo leading, Stewart stepping off and looking back over to first base. This is the 4th stop in the Major League career of Dave Stewart, a Dodger, a member of the Texas Rangers, then the Philadelphia Phillies, coming to Oakland, and this is where he really burst on the scene. Swung on and hit well into right center field. After it is McGee, and he makes a catch. Willie McGee took extra bases away from Todd Benzinger, and a run. Fine play by McGee in right center field. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. After 1.5, 1-0 Oakland. Oakland 1, Cincinnati 0. Bottom of the second about to unfold, and more bad news for the Reds. You expected that Glenn Braggs would remain in the game after pinch hitting for the injured Eric Davis. He is, in fact, in left field, but Herm Winningham, write his name into the lineup in center field, replacing Billy Hatcher. So the hand apparently bothering Hatcher enough that he had to come out. Mark McGuire takes a high fastball. Dropped down to the number 7 spot in the Oakland batting order for tonight's game as Tony La Russa really shook it up. He swings and taps one along the first base side. Rijo comes off the mound, picks it up, and underhands to Benzinger for the out. So Braggs in left, batting in the cleanup spot. Winningham in center, hitting in the number 2 position. And the decision by Tony La Russa to lift Canseco for Willie McGee has certainly paid off already tonight. McGee doubled, came in to score the game's only run in the first, and took away an extra base hit that would have led to a run for the final out of the second inning off the bat of Todd Benzinger. Here's Willie Randolph batting in his usual 8 spot, and he takes the strike. Don't miss the fun. Afternoons with Gary Burbank and Doc Wolf on the big one, 700 WLW. Randolph having a good World Series, batting .333, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tony La Russa calling Randolph as smart a player as I've ever managed in Major League Baseball. He's a winner. There's no question about that with the success that he's had in his career, primarily with the New York Yankees. 2 balls and 1 strike. But he is still waiting to play on a ball club that beats the Cincinnati Reds in a postseason ball game. Checks his swing, and a foul ball apparently, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes, and that one got Joe Oliver. He comes out from behind the plate hobbling. And now Larry Starr, who is right now spending more time on the field than he is in the dugout, coming out to check Oliver out. Right off of his foot, his right foot, and Joe is gingerly walking around, but he's going to be okay. Randolph, as a rookie, was with the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1975 when the Reds beat that team 3 straight in the National League Championship Series. Was with the New York Yankees a year later when the Reds swept that team in the World Series, and has gone 0 for 3 in this World Series as a member of the Oakland Athletics against the Cincinnati team. Swing and a foul. So Willie Randolph is 0-10 against Reds teams in postseason play in his major league career. Two balls, two strikes. 1-0 Oakland. We're in the bottom of the second with one out. McGuire has bounced back to Rijo. Randolph at the plate with Mike Gallego on deck, and the pitch on the way. And is pulled to third. Sabo picks it up behind the bag, and his throw is on the money for the second out. Gallego, a .207 batter during the season, batting 100 in the World Series, has driven in a run.
The batter, number 9, Mike Gallego, shortstop.
What the Reds did here last night has gone against the grain in World Series games in the last few years. Home teams in World Series play have lost just 5 of the last 22 games. 3 of those home team losses have been by the A's, 2 in 1988, and the defeat here 8-3 last night, with the other 2 being by the Giants last year. 1 strike count, and a foul out of play, and he's behind 0-2. Oakland, of course, hurt by the loss of Walt Weiss, who suffered a knee injury in the league championship 4-game series sweep over the Boston Red Sox. He was declared out for the entire World Series and was replaced by a rookie, Mike Bordick, who has seen action in a couple of ball games. So Gallego playing shortstop on a regular basis with Randolph going to second, whereas under normal times they have divided the duties at second base between Gallego and Randolph when Weiss is a fixture at shortstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out as Rijo deals, and Gallego checks, and that's the ball. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a foul. Holding at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Should Gallego reach with 2 away, we'll take a look at the leadoff batter again, Ricky Henderson. Rijo turning it loose, and Gallego takes ball 3, and that one just missed. Three balls, 2 strikes. McGuire a ground out, Randolph a ground out. Here comes a payoff pitch, and it is ball 4, and Rijo lost him. The Athletics, who ranked second in the American League during the 1990 year in walks, picks up their first of the night here as the number 9 batter. Gallego draws the base on balls, bringing Ricky Henderson back. He led off the first inning with a fly ball that Eric Davis caught in left field. Rijo with a motion and the pitch, and Henderson takes it on the outside corner, a call strike. That's the way they'd like to pitch this guy. Take away his power by making him hit the other way. He's been on base rather frequently, has really not been a factor in this World Series. Such has been the dominance by the Reds, especially in games 1 and 3. There goes Gallego. Pitch is taken. The throw by Oliver in the dirt and on into center field. And Gallego will come on to third base. That's the 3rd throwing error that Joe Oliver has committed. He had 1 in game 2 and game 3, and now 1 in game 4. A steal for Gallego, who had but 5 during the season. And he's at third base as a result of the throwing error. So Joe not throwing well at all in this World Series. And now Oakland hopes to take advantage of it with Henderson awaiting a 1-1 pitch. The stretch and the pitch. And the fastball misses, ball 2. He has a 7-game World Series hitting streak, which includes every game in which he's played. He also has, Henderson does, a 15-game postseason batting streak. He'd love to extend it right here. And the pitch is high, ball 3. That streak dates back to a hitless contest in Game 1 of the 1989 American League Championship Series against Toronto, and after that, he has hit in every game in which he's played in the postseason since. Oliver out to the mound to talk with Rijo, who retired McGuire and Randolph with no problem, then got ahead to Gallego before ultimately walking him, and is in a dangerous spot here against Ricky Henderson. 3 balls and 1 strike. The pause, the pitch, and strike 2 is called, and it's full. Third base occupied by Mike Gallego with 2 out. Oakland leading 1-0. They got a 2-out hit from Carney Lansford in the first inning to get their run in. And Henderson with a payoff pitch has taken ball 4, so back-to-back walks after 2 were out. And the Athletics have him on the corners for Willie McGee. I'll tell you, it really doesn't look like Rijo is missing all that badly.
No, there have been some pretty close pitches that Jose has thrown. Right now, Lou going to take a trip out and have a little chat with Jose and kind of calm things down a bit. Nothing has happened yet. They get Willie McGee out, no problems. But, he's not missing 6 inches. He's missing by inches as far as the strike zone. And Ed Henry, I haven't seen Lou or Jose, rather, say anything or question the call by Henry, the plate umpire. So Lou has had a brief meeting and heads back for the dugout.
McGee hit the ball in the first inning that Eric Davis suffered the undetermined injury on that ultimately required him to leave the game. Of course, McGee familiar with Rijo and vice versa, two having hooked up many times while Willie was playing with the St. Louis Cardinals. First and third, 2 out, walks got him there. And the pitch to McGee taken low ball. He can be a free agent at the end of this season, as can Harold Baines, so the Athletics will have a couple of big decisions to make, trying to determine whether or not to sign one or both or neither. 1 ball and no strikes. And a throw over, and Henderson is back. He has stolen 2 bases so far in this World Series, Ricky Henderson has. Rijo straightens up on the mound, throws a pitch out, but Henderson not going. 2 balls and no strikes. Lou was talking before this World Series started about how early in the season he called for back-to-back pitch outs to throw a San Francisco Giant runner out. I don't believe, given the way Rijo is struggling with his control here in the second, he'd do the same thing here with a count of 2-0. And there goes Henderson. And the pitch is in for a strike, and he had such a jump that Oliver just tossed the ball back to the mound. So 3 steals in the series for Henderson, and Oakland now has him at second and third. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 out. 20th career stolen base in World Series play for Ricky Henderson to tie a record. There's a swing and a foul at the plate. 2-2 on McGee. Very slow start to World Series game number 4. The Hatcher injury, hit by a pitch in the first. The Davis injury. Both ball players are gone. Braggs in left and Winningham in center. And Rijo cranking up the 2-2 pitch. And it's a strikeout swinging, and Jose dodges a second inning bullet. No runs, no hits, 1 error. 2 men left. At the end of 2 in Oakland, the A's won, the Reds nothing. Third inning about to unfold here in Oakland. A's 1, Reds nothing. Leading off against Dave Stewart will be Joe Oliver, and with a play-by-play, Joe Nuxhall.
Thank you, Marty. And Joe, up for the first time in the game, as Stewart delivers to him, it's swung on and lined down the left field line. That's extra bases. Oliver makes the turn on his way to second. Henderson up with the ball, returns to the infield, and Joe Oliver has his 3rd double of the World Series. Well, he wastes no time jumping on Stewart's first pitch, and that'll bring Mariano Duncan to the plate. And they're going to take Eric Davis to the hospital and Billy Hatcher for x-rays. So we'll wait on the report and keep your fingers crossed. Well, Duncan for the series, a 200 batting average with an RBI. Mariano picked up that RBI last night, has stolen a base. Stewart the stretch. And a pitch, and Duncan takes high, ball one. Each team with 2 base hits, the A's leading it 1-0. Tony Lansford driving in the run for Oakland. Oliver at second base, nobody out here in the 3rd inning. Stewart sets and delivers, taken low and away. 2 balls, no strike. Barry Larkin waiting on deck. Stewart has his sign. He sets and delivers, and Duncan swings and hits it right back to Stewart. He knocks it down, picks it up, throws to McGuire, and Oliver has to hold his second. So Mariano hit it hard, but back to Stewart on the bounce, and he knocks it down. Oh, actually hit him on the heel of the glove, came up and hit him in the stomach, and then bounced in front of him. So with 1 out, Barry Larkin steps in. Lark, a fly ball to Henderson in right center, leading off the game. Stewart has the sign from Quirk. He's to the belt, and I look back at Oliver, the pitch, and Larkin takes the breaking ball high. Barry, a .357 batting average for the series with 1 RBI. Larkin a triple to drive in a run last night in that 7-run 3rd inning. Stewart the stretch and a pitch. Larkin swings and bounces it to Lansford at 3rd. He goes across to McGuire, 2 away. Well, 2 down, and that'll bring Herm Winningham to the plate for the first time. Hitting in Billy Hatcher's spot. Herm has been to the plate 1 time in the series, 0 for 1. Oliver led off the inning with a double. He's still at second base. Paul O'Neill on deck. Stewart the stretch and the pitch, and Winningham takes it low, ball 1. Hayes getting a run in the first, lead it 1-0. Stewart sets, looks back at Oliver. The 1-0 on Herm swings and misses. Breaking ball, evens 1-1. Herm for the year at .256 with 3 home runs and 17 RBIs. Stewart, the stretch, and the 1-1. Winningham bounces it foul off 3rd. And it's 1-2 to Herm Winningham. Reds looking for the sweep, trailing 1-0. They trailed last night after 2 times to the plate, 2-1. 2 strikes. Stewart the stretch. And delivers. And Winningham takes it low and outside. It evens 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Stewart has his sign. And the 2-2, and Winningham takes ball 3, low and inside. Well, 3-2, a full count to Herm Winningham. Stewart ready with the payoff. He sets and delivers, and Winningham swings and fouls out of play to the left. Which looked like it might have been up and out of the strike zone. Turn back into the batter's box. Stewart okays the sign. And again the payoff. Winningham swings and bounces to McGuire at first. He'll take it himself, and that's the inning. The Reds a base hit, a runner left. Middle of the third, Oakland 1, Cincinnati 0. Dave Henderson leads it off as the A's bat in the third, and we have a report as far as Eric Davis, Billy Hatcher go. Billy, of course, severe contusion in the back of the left hand, and Eric Davis, contusion of the right rib cage and possibly a contusion of the kidney. And they have both been taken to Merritt Hospital here in Oakland for x-rays and further examination. Well, Jose Rijo is ready to go to work on Dave Henderson. He popped out to Duncan in the first inning and looks at a strike. Henderson, the series at .333 batting average, swings and fouls. The next pitch from Rijo. And Jose in front 0-2. Rijo back with the 0-2. Henderson checks on a fork ball that's low and away. A ball, 2 strikes. With the 1-2, Henderson checks his swing, and it evens 2-2. Andy Marsh, the first base umpire. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Harold Baines on deck. Rijo with the break-even pitch, swing and a miss, and Rijo has his 3rd strikeout. Henderson trying to hold up, but couldn't. Well, one away, Harold Baines steps in. Baines in the first inning, after Rijo had gone 2 balls, no strikes, they went on and intentionally passed him. Baines bounces a foul off first. Then Carney Lansford crossed up the strategy by singling the center to score Willie McGee with the 1 run of the game to this point. Rijo, the 0-1, and Baines takes it outside, 1-1. Well, the Reds have lost 2 starters, Billy Hatcher and Eric Davis. 1-1, Baines swings and grounds it up the middle, but there's Larkin easily fielding and throwing out Baines, 2 away. So with 2 down, Carney Lansford steps in. Carney picked up an RBI, his first of the series.
Carney Lansford.
Rijo delivers, Lansford swings and a fly ball to right. Paul O'Neill drifting back, and he has it, and that's the inning. So the A's out in order for the first time in the game. And after 3, it stays Oakland 1, Cincinnati 0. Reds trailing 1-0 as they bat here in the 4th. Paul O'Neill to lead it off. Paul grounded to Randolph to end the first inning. Stewart delivers, and he misses outside, ball 1. O'Neill, a 111 batting average with 1 RBI. I'd like to see him get hot now. Takes the strike, 1-1. With Eric and Hatcher out, it would be nice to see Paul get things in stride. Stewart with the 1-1. O'Neill takes it, and strike 2 call in the outside corner. A ball, 2 strikes. Burke hangs the sign. And Stewart delivers the 1-2, and O'Neill swings and misses. Stewart gets his first strikeout. A 1 away, and Glenn Bragg steps in. Bragg's up for the second time. Glenn sent Henderson to the warning track in the second inning, leading off when he hit for Eric Davis. Stewart delivers, and Braggs takes it low, ball 1. Each team with 2 base hits. The 1-0, Braggs takes it, strike called, and it evens 1-1. That's the defensive play of the game to this point. It was Willie McGee's running catch on Benzinger with Sabo at first base and 2 out in the second inning, going into right center. Braggs swings and fouls straight back. And a ball, 2 strikes to count to Glenn Braggs. Al Morris waiting on deck. Stewart okays the sign, and the 1-2, that's swung on and fouled. It stays a ball, 2 strikes to Braggs. Ted Hendry cleaning the plate off, the home plate umpire tonight. Stewart into the line, and the 1-2 again. Check swing bouncer in front of the mound, and the Quirk is outfield, throws to McGuire, score. So with 2 out, Al Morris steps in. Morris a fly ball to Henderson in left field. Delivers, and Morris swings and hits it hard to Randolph's right. He fields to McGuire, and that's the inning. The Reds out in order for the first time in the game, and in the middle of the 4th, it stays Oakland 1, Cincinnati 0. Oakland bats to the bottom half of the 4th. It'll be Jamie Quirk, Mike McGuire, and Willie Randolph. Mark McGuire, not Mike. Jamie Quirk leads it off. Quirk struck out to end the first inning. Oakland with 2 base hits. They both came in the first when they scored a run. A swing and a miss by Quirk. Jose has struck out 3, has walked 3, and one of the 3 walks, an intentional pass to Harold Baines. Rijo waiting on the sign from Oliver and delivers the 0-1, and Quirk swings and misses again. 0-2. Braggs in left field, Winningham in center, and O'Neill in right. Playing Quirk straight away, a left-handed batter. Mark McGuire waiting on deck. With the 0-2, and Quirk takes it high. A ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Quirk back into the batter's box. Rijo has his sign and delivers the 1-2. A swing and a miss. 4 of them for Rijo, one away, and Mark McGuire steps in. McGuire tapped back to Rijo leading off the second inning. Jose had 5 strikeouts in the opener at Riverfront in 7 innings. Rijo winds and delivers, and it's a strike on the outside corner to knees, and McGuire takes a look at Ted Hendry, the plate umpire. Rijo back for the 0-1. McGuire takes it, and missing outside at the knees, 1-1. Jose, the 1-1, strike 2 called, and a fastball, and it goes 1-2 to McGuire as he backs away from the plate. Rijo delivers the 1-2. McGuire takes outside. Count evens 2-2. Jose's 2-2. McGuire swings and misses, and that's 5 strikeouts for Rijo. So 2 away, and Willie Randolph the batter. Randolph grounded to Sabo in the second inning. Jose to the plate. Randolph looks at a strike. Jose getting that outside corner consistently. He's back for the 0-1. Randolph swings and fouls out of play into the seats to the right. And Rijo quickly in follow 1-2 to Willie Randolph. Jose okays the sign, and the 0-2 delivery, and just outside with a fastball. 1-2. Rijo waiting on the sign. He delivers the 1-2. Randolph swings and he grounds to Larkin. He charges, fields, throws, and that's the inning. Nothing across after 4. It stays the A's 1, the Reds nothing. Now the totals for 4 innings. The Reds no runs, 2 hits, 1 error. The Athletics a run, 2 hits, and no errors. For the Reds, it'll be Chris Sabo to lead it off as we move on to the 5th. Back to the action, Marty Brennan.
Thank you, Joe. Sabo 1 for 1. A base hit back in the second. One of the 2 hits that the Reds have collected off Dave Stewart. Other being the double leading off the third by Joe Oliver, and the Reds really missed an opportunity there to tie the game up. No question that going to the 5th, this man throwing the ball much better than he did at Riverfront last Tuesday night, but working with only a 1-run lead as he delivers to Sabo, and Chris waves at a pitch away, a breaking ball. In hitting 2 home runs last night, he became the 30th player to hit 2 or more homers in a World Series game, and only the 6th player in World Series history to homer in consecutive innings. He goes again, and he's quickly behind 0-2. It was the first time that a player from the National League had hit home runs in back-to-back innings in World Series play. He chalked up a first of sorts here last night, at least from the National League. Way outside, a ball, 2 strikes. Stewart has struck out only 1. That was O'Neill in the 4th inning, and has not walked a batter, although hit Billy Hatcher in the 1st, and Hatcher, of course, had to leave the game. And Eric Davis also forced out, so the Reds are without 2/3 of their starting outfield. Fastball upstairs, and Chris laying off of it, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Benzinger on deck to be followed by Joe Oliver. Stewart kicks and throws, and Sabo takes ball 3. I'll tell you, Dave Stewart's not had total command of his pitches. basically since this ball game got underway. He run the string out on Sabo. Burke sends out the sign. A check out by Stewart, and the payoff pitch. And it's swung on and lined over Gallego and into left field for a base hit. So Sabo continues to swing that bat. He's 2 for 2 tonight, as he opens up inning number 5 with a base hit, and that brings up Benzinger. And Joe mentioned the defensive play of this ball game so far has been the play that Willie McGee turned in on Benzinger on a drive into the alley in right center in the second with 2 out. Had the ball gotten through, it most certainly would have scored Sabo from first base, and we would have had ourselves a tie game. But McGee came up with a big play, and quite frankly, it was a ball that Canseco would not have gotten to. And a step off by Stewart. Sabo has now collected 8 hits in this World Series. Stewart stretches and pitches, and Benzinger hits it in the air. This is going to be routine, and it'll be Ricky Henderson in left field to make the catch. Be sure to listen to Jim Scott on the big one every weekday morning with Pat Barry's weather, helicopter traffic, and news every 15 minutes. Oliver pulls Stewart's first pitch down the left field line for a double beginning the 3rd inning. Joe's had a good World Series at the plate. He's now jumped his batting average up through 3+ games to 400. Pitch, taken down a ball. Kind of interesting. We talked last night before this game started about how the ball dies in the alleys and night ball here, and how tough it is to hit a home run, and after which we saw 4 balls fly out of this ballpark while the Athletics were taking batting practice this afternoon. Merv Redmond, who gave us that information in getting a scouting report on the nuances of the Oakland ballpark, fly ball left field. And Henderson will play this one. He goes back now, circles back in, and makes the play. 2 out. Merv said, "You didn't use my name, did you?" I said, "Yes, more than once." He said, "Well, the one thing I neglected to point out is that it stayed rather warm for most of the evening." He said the ball carries pretty well at night when it's warm. He said it started to cool off toward the final 2 or 3 innings of the ball game. I said, "You should have told us that last night." So Sabo hit 2, and Harold Baines and Ricky Henderson hit 1 each. Here's Mariano Duncan, who bounced back to the mound in the 3rd. He swings and misses on a pitch up in his eyes. His inability to get the ball to the right side of the infield after Oliver had doubled to start off inning number 3 was the big out for Dave Stewart. And here in the 5th inning, Sabo opens with a single, but Benzinger and Oliver have back-to-back fly balls to left. Duncan has seen nothing but right-handed pitching in this World Series, and it certainly has a whole lot to do with a 182 batting average. Off-speed pitches in for strike 2. As you know, he tore up left-handers during the season, but hit around 220, 225 against right-handers, and for one, Oakland doesn't have a right-handed or a left-handed starter in this World Series. They've got some down in their bullpen relievers, Rick Honeycutt, Kurt Young, who started most of the year, Joe Klink. 0-2, 2 out. The pitch. And he went. Looked like he went. He did, says first base umpire Randy Marsh on a bad breaking ball outside. Second strikeout for Stewart. And through 4 1/2. The Reds still trail 1-0. It is the tail end of the batting order for the Oakland A's here in the home half of the 5th inning. Mike Gallego, who walked in the 2nd, picked up a stolen base. Will begin it, followed by Ricky Henderson and then Willie McGee. Jose Rijo pitching well tonight, but on the short end of a 1-0 score, giving up a run-scoring 2-out single to Carney Lansford in the 1st inning. Oakland has been shut down 2 hits, and they both came in the 1st. The pitch is at the knees for a strike. And since walking Henderson in the 2nd, he has retired 7 batters in a row, and of those 7, he has struck out 4. Gallego
taking, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes quickly to the diminutive Oakland shortstop. Rijo looking, Rijo winding, and Rijo throwing, and Gallego fouls it back to keep it at 0-2. Number 5, if there is a need for one, will be played here tomorrow night. Should it go past that, Monday will be an off day. And then game 6 and 7, if necessary, would be played at Riverfront Stadium Tuesday and Wednesday night. And that's all for Gallego as he strikes out swinging, and Rijo gets number 6. Now Ricky Henderson, who's flied out to left, drawn a walk, and picked up his 3rd stolen base of the World Series. This late, the Reds have lost tonight due to injury Billy Hatcher and Eric Davis. Billy was hit on the left hand by a Dave Stewart pitch while batting in the 1st inning. Had a severe contusion on the top of that left hand. He's been taken to Merritt Hospital here in Oakland for x-rays and examinations. Davis suffered a right rib cage injury and a possible kidney injury trying to catch a sinking liner off the bat of Willie McGee that went for a double in the Oakland 1st inning, and he also has been taken to Merritt Hospital. Strike is called, and another one in on Henderson, 0-2. Make that a ball and a strike. First pitch missing, this pitch in. 1 ball, 1 strike on Henderson. 3 of the 5 hits he's had in this World Series so far have been for extra bases, 2 doubles and a home run. Pitch is low, ball 2, 2-1. Into the wind. Henderson said timeout with plate umpire Ted Hendry, and Ricky backs away from the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike, and here's the pitch. And it's swung on and hit foul. Back up and off to our right and out of play. I still can't understand why the scoreboard out in right field has the final scores from the final day of the regular season. I do not understand that. I guess they're providing a little extra service for the fans here at the Oakland Coliseum. That's been bothering me since yesterday. Here's the pitch, and it's high and inside. Reds lost to Houston 3-2. San Diego beat the Dodgers 7-3. San Francisco knocked off Atlanta. Montreal got the Cardinals. Cubs beat the Phillies. 1 number missing in that New York-Pittsburgh game. And we got the American League scores on the other side. A 3-2 pitch. And strike 3 is called. He rings Henderson up. And 7 of them now for Rijo. And Ricky didn't like the call by the American League umpire. And he's got a word or 2 for him as he heads on back to the Oakland dugout. I think old Rick was looking for the fastball, and Jose got him with the slider. And pretty good pitch. He's retired 9 straight. He has struck out 7. He goes to work on Willie McGee, who began this string of 9 in a row with a strikeout in the 2nd. But he had that double in the 1st inning and scored the game's only run. He swings and grounds it foul. Oakland trying to do something tonight and talking about being in a position where they're down 3 games to none. No American League team trailing 3 games to none has ever won game 4. But they're leading 1-0 tonight in the 5th inning. There's a looper over 3rd, but foul into the Oakland bullpen. The 5 American League teams who have lost the first 3 games have all gone down to defeat in game 4. The 1914 A's, the 1922 Yankees, the 54 Indians, the 63 Yankees, and more recently, but still 14 long years ago, when the Reds swept the 76 Yankees. Foul again by McGee, 0-2 and holding. And an A's team has never lost 4 postseason games in a row since moving west from Kansas City. Anybody's game, 1-0 in the 5th inning. The pitch. And he missed, and not by much. A ball. 2 hits for Oakland, no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Reds. Rijo kicks and fires, and a grounder foul again as McGee continues to make contact. Willie's an Oakland youngster, and I would imagine he'd like to hang around here given the kind of success the Oakland club has had in the last 3 years and what their future might hold as far as 1991 is concerned. It all boils down to whether or not Sandy Alderson and the rest of the Oakland hierarchy are willing to pay out the dough necessary to keep him in an A's uniform. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He is still the kind of player that could go anywhere, American or National League. That probably would not hold true for a fellow like Harold Baines, who simply has a value of being a DH, and a good one at that, the way he can swing the bat. Hard hit ground ball. Duncan makes a pickup, and he'll throw McGee out, and that ends the inning. And for the 3rd straight time, Oakland has gone down in order. Yet at the end of 5, they lead Cincinnati 1-0. Marty Brenneman back at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. We're in the 6th, and it's a close encounter, 1-0. Oakland trying to stave off elimination. Down 3 games to none. Got a first-inning run off Rijo, while the Reds have not been able to dent the plate in 5 turns at the plate against Dave Stewart. At the top of the order coming up, Barry Larkin, who's fly to center and bounced out to 3rd. We've been talking about all year long and tallying up the monies accrued due to base hits by Barry Larkin for the Caring Program for Children. If Barry keeps hitting and the Reds ultimately win this World Series, a number of needy Ohio children receiving health care through the Caring Program for Children could reach at least 550. Barry, of course, has had an excellent World Series so far. Hoping to get things started here in the 6th inning as Stewart comes to him, and the pitch is high and tight a ball. Cellular One announced yesterday it will double its season-long contributions to the Caring Program if the Reds defeat the A's in the series, and Barry, of course, has done extremely well, and since Community Mutual Blue Cross and Blue Shield matches all Caring Program contributions dollar for dollar, Cellular One's new commitment guarantees a total of at least $122,800 for the season, and that would be enough to enroll 538 children. 2 balls and no strikes on Larkin, and Barry takes high, ball 3. So Stewart has gone to within 1 pitch out of the strike zone away from putting Larkin on to begin the 6th. And there it is, ball 4. We'll bring up Winningham, who had to come off the bench to replace Billy Hatcher in center field. He batted him to 3rd and bounced out to Mark McGuire. So Stewart walks his first of the night. And now faces Winningham as Lansford creeps in on the grass at 3rd base. Larkin with excellent speed. And a step off by Stewart. That is about as predictable as the sun coming up. He has done it every time when a man has reached first base. He'll show you that quick step off and take the quick look over. To the belt and to the plate. Winningham tried to put a bunt down, but did not get it. No, he didn't offer at it a ball. Checking it out with 3rd base coach Sam Perlazzo. Steps back in. Looking for his first hit in this World Series. Larkin leading, and Stewart turns and throws over to Mark McGuire. Cincinnati sits tonight a single by Sabo with 2 outs in the 2nd, a leadoff Oliver double in the 3rd, and a single leading off the 5th inning by Chris Sabo. Lupinella comes out of the dugout, points down toward the left field line.
Well, Marty, there was someone with a light down the left field line, and I don't know whether it was a TV camera or someone with a flashlight, but nevertheless, the 3rd base umpire is headed down that way. Frank Pulley, along with a somebody with a flashlight shining it into Herm's eyes, and Lou picked it up right now, and let's see if they find the culprit and remove him from the ballpark.
Well, the police officer is standing right down there on the warning track looking up into the stands. Frank Pulley pointed out the person in question, and now with the walkie-talkie, the police officer has gotten one of the stadium ushers or attendants to come down in the area to see that's exactly what it was, a flashlight. Well, I guess when desperate times arise, desperate measures are needed. And that Oakland fan feels if a flashlight might help the cause of his ball club, why not? But Lou Piniella picked it up immediately, and it didn't take him long.
They might well have wasted a few bucks.
He might have.
They're taking him out of the park.
Well, you dance, you got to pay the fiddler. He danced, and he's going to pay. Here's Whittingham now with a count of a ball and no strikes. Lansford well in at third, and a step off by Stewart and the look over. Stretches, pauses, Larkin goes. The pitch is swung on, line drive, left field. That's going to be a base hit. Here comes Berry to third, and dropped by Henderson. All hands are safe, and the Reds have him on the corners with nobody out. Larkin got an excellent jump on Dave Stewart, and Whittingham line one over Gallego and into left center field, and Larkin not hesitating. Henderson had every intention in the world of going to third and simply dropped the ball.
Well, I think Herm will have a new bat the next time he goes to the plate, but that's beside the point, and Berry just kept right on going, knowing exactly where the ball was going to land. And I doubt very much if Henderson would have had a shot at it.
First and third, nobody out as the Reds pose a major threat here in the sixth inning, trying to get even. And the pitch to Big Paul O'Neill is fouled back and out of play. Strike one. O'Neill has bounced to second, has struck out. Makes up for a lot of lost ground in this World Series. His average now stands at .091. With only one hit, a single last night in game number 3. The infield back at double play depth. They'll give up the run. All over his last 7. With runners in scoring position. Stewart back to the plate, and it's swung on and popped up. The shortstop will play it. Mike Gallego, and Stewart a third of the way home. That'll bring up Glenn Braggs, and Braggs, since taking over as a pinch hitter in the second for Eric Davis, has flied to left and chopped one out in front of the plate, only to be thrown out by catcher Jamie Quirk. For the absolute best sports coverage in town, keep it on the big one. For Chris Collinsworth Sports Talk and 2020 Sports all weekend long. It's on your official World Series station, 700 WLW. O'Neill having popped up to short and nobody able to go anywhere. It's now up to Braggs to try and get Larkin home from third. Stewart throwing, Braggs taking outside. Ball one. During the regular year. Has a run batted in this World Series, and hopefully can talk about a second after this at bat. Here's the pitch, and it's way inside. 2 balls and no strikes. This has been the kind of ball game, given the level of pitching we have seen from Dave Stewart and Jose Rijo, where the bullpens have enjoyed a night off. There's been no one up in either pen throwing through the first 5+ innings of play here. Now Stewart behind, 2 balls and nothing on Braggs. Larkin at third, Whittingham leading at first. Braggs takes high, ball 3. The fans starting to get a little bit uneasy. And if he loses Braggs he'll be facing Hal Morris with the bases loaded. Worth looking into the Oakland dugout. Hangs the sign for Dave Stewart. And the pitch. That's ball 4. Winningham goes to second. Braggs gets the walk that loads him up for Morris. After having not walked a batter in the first 5 innings tonight, Dave Stewart has issued 2 of them in the 6th, to Larkin leading off, and now to Braggs to fill him up. Sandwiched in between, the base hit by Herm Winningham, and it is Morris who is slumping as badly in this World Series as Paul O'Neill has, and basically he's hit the ball on the ground. Last night was 0 for 4, 3 times grounding to first, once to third, and tonight is fly to left and bounced out hard to Willie Randolph at second. Opponents with a .379 batting average against Stewart with the bases loaded, and he's high with the first pitch of ball. Larkin third, Winningham second, Braggs at first. Again, they give Morrison a lot of room down the right field line. Willie McGee shading him toward the alley in right field. And a ground ball slapped to second. Randolph goes to Gallego, and the throw to first, a double play. 4 to 6 to 3 as the problems for the rookie continue at the plate. No runs, 1 hit, 2 allowed. And in the middle of the 6th inning, Oakland remains up by 1. Magic has been absent for the Cincinnati Reds in this game number 4. A big chance they allow to get away in the top of the inning. Hal Morris grounding into a bases-loaded double play. And now we move on to the bottom of the 6th inning where the Reds still trail by a run. Dave Henderson has popped to second and is struck out as he faces for the 3rd time Jose Rijo. And Jose throws a pitch inside corner, call strike. And hit to center field. It'll be Herm Winningham's ball to play, and he does 1 out. That is 11 in a row now retired by Rijo, and he'll face Harold Baines, who's drawn an intentional walk and has grounded out to shortstop. Left-handed batter takes it high for a ball. Batted .270, .284 during the season with both the White Sox, the Rangers and the A's. Hit 16 homers and drove in 65 runs. Checks his swing, and it's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. This World Series so far has been a big one. He fouls it back and into the seats. And a grab ball hit to third. And the throw across from Sabo to Benzinger ends the inning, and the beat rolls on for Jose Rijo. We move to the 7th inning. Oakland 1, Cincinnati nothing. Still trail by a run. We're in the 7th 7th inning, and it'll be Chris Sabo to be first up against Dave Stewart. Back with a play-by-play. Here's Joe.
Thank you, Marty. And Chris owns half the 4 hits the Reds have had off Stewart. Boy, a big opportunity in the 6th inning to at least tie the game, but nothing. In the 3rd inning, Joe Oliver led off the inning with a double, but was stranded at second as Duncan bounced back to the mound. Larkin grounded to third, and Winningham grounded to first to end the inning. Reds have had opportunities, not a whole lot of them, but a couple of real good ones. Stewart delivers to Sabo and is swung on and hit deep into left field. Henderson going back. He looks up and it's off the top of the wall. On his way to second, Sabo, the throw off target, and a leadoff double by Chris Sabo. That ball just missing going out of here. So here we go again. Hit number 5 for the Reds. Sabo gets his first double of the year. Chris off the bat thought that ball was out of here, but it just misses going out of here by probably 2 inches. Sabo's at third base, nobody out, or second base rather, nobody out, and Benzinger at the plate, and Todd takes low, ball 1. Benzinger has hit the ball hard 1 out of 2 times. That was in the 2nd inning when McGee robbed him of extra bases. Sabo his 3rd hit of the ball game. And Benzinger looks at a strike. And the count evens 1-1. Joe Oliver waiting on deck. Stewart the stretch. A check of Sabo and the pitch. And Benzinger swings and pulls it to Randolph at second. That moves Sabo to third. And with 1 out, Joe Oliver the batter. Joe, 1 for 2, double leading off the 3rd, as we said, and then in the 5th inning, a fly ball to Ricky Henderson in left field. Duncan, the on-deck batter. The Oakland infield plays in. Hopeful to cut off Sabo at the plate. Stewart the stretch and the pitch. And Oliver swings and pulls it down the left field line, but it's going to be a foul ball. 0-1. Now Jamie Quirk will have a word with Dave Stewart. 1-0 Oakland. The Reds threatening once again. They had first and third with nobody out in the 6th, couldn't score. Now it's Sabo at third with 1 out here in the 7th. 0-1 the count to Oliver. Stewart the stretch and the pitch, and Oliver swings and misses. A pitch down and away. 0-2. In front, no balls, 2 strikes to Oliver. The stretch and the 0-2, and Oliver swings and bounces to Langford. Lansford at third. He looks Sabo back 2 away. A 2 away, and Mariano Duncan to the plate. Sabo still at third. He led off the inning with a double, moved to third on a ground out by Benzinger. Duncan takes low and outside the ball. Reds have had 5 hits in the game, Sabo with 3 of them. Jamie Quirk hangs the sign. Stewart sets and delivers, and it's a swing and a foul. 1-1. Reds have been retired in order in just once in the ball game. That was the 4th inning. Stewart with the the 1-1 to Duncan. He delivers, and Duncan takes strike 2 called. A ball, 2 strikes now to Mariano Duncan. Sabo at third base, a ball, 2 strikes. Stewart ready with the 1-2. He delivers, and Duncan swings in a fly ball into right center field. Henderson after it, he calls. He has it, and another opportunity by the board. The base hit, a runner left, and at the middle of the 7th, it stays Oakland 1, Cincinnati nothing. Oakland bats in the bottom half of the 7th, leading 1-0, and we'll hold them right here and see if we can get them in the 8th inning. The Reds have passed up a couple of golden opportunities to go ahead in this ball game, to be exact. Jamie Quirk leads it off. He has struck out both times up. Rijo goes to work on him, and Quirk takes the first pitch high, ball 1. Rijo has struck out 7, has walked 3, and the A's have had 2 hits, none since the first inning. The 1-0 is swung on and bounced to Benzinger at first, who'll take it himself. 1 away. Well, coming up on Todd, he made a pretty good play on it. 1 away, here's Mark McGuire, and he is 0 for 2, is tapped to Rijo at the mound and struck out. Rijo delivers, McGuire swings, and a fly ball into right field. Drifting back, O'Neill. At the edge of the warning track, he hauls it in. Well, 2 away, and the batter is Willie Randolph. Randolph has grounded to Sabo and has grounded to Larkin in his 2 times up. Quickly 2 out. Rijo delivers, Randolph takes, strike called. I think Willie thought that pitch was high, and Ted Hendry, the plate umpire, getting some lip from the Oakland dugout. Rijo, the 0-1 delivery. That's strike 2 call in the outside corner, and the count quickly 0-2 to Willie Randolph. Jose delivers a half-swing bouncer, and it rolls foul off third.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Fred Garvin and Greg Lynn. Fred Garvin, Greg Lynn, please report to security.
No balls, 2 strikes to Willie Randolph. With 2 out, the base is empty. Rijo again, the 0-2, and taken low. A ball, 1-2. Hit the A's 5-2, but trail 1-0. Is swinging a fly ball to center. Herm Winningham moving toward the right center. He has it, and that's the inning. So once again, the A's go out in order, and after 7, A's 1, Reds nothing. 7 innings have gone by. It's still a 1-0 ball game. The Reds have out-hit them 5-2, have committed an error, and boy, they've had opportunities in the last 2 innings, big time, but unable to put anything on the board. So hopefully we can put Dave Stewart to the task one more time. Ready to go, and here's Marty.
And here's Barry Larkin, the top of the order. Larkin walked in the 6th inning, but officially 0 for 2. Reds have out-hit them 5-2, but so far they have stranded
6 runners on base. Oakland has left 4, and all of them came in the first 2 innings, 2 in the first and 2 in the second. Long look down by Stewart. Now to the windup for the Oakland A's right-hander, and in with a pitch, and Larkin takes it away a ball. Well, I'll tell you, when Jose Rijo came off the field after getting Randolph to end the 7th, he was yelling and shouting at his ball club, obviously having to do with let's go. Time is running out. We only need 1 or more. That pitch on the outside corner for a strike, and he can tell you that while he's not up and throwing, Dennis Eckersley, between innings, left the Oakland dugout and headed on down to the bullpen. Yellow balloon slowly coming between Randolph and McGuire toward the mound as Larkin fouls back the pitch, and Stewart jumps in front. And that balloon now rolling right back behind the mound, continuing his journey toward third, and it dies a violent death. Dave Stewart just stomped on it, puts the remnants in his right back pocket, and will go back to the mound. When you need to know, News Radio, 700 WLW. The only run back in the first inning on a 2-out single to center by Carney Lansford that scored Willie McGee, who had doubled. That ball would cause the injury to Eric Davis. Here's a pop. Foul territory right side and falling into the Cincinnati bullpen untouched. 48,613 here tonight for Game 4. 48,613. So through the 4 games, an attendance figure of 218,904. 2 in Cincinnati and 2 in Oakland. Kicks and fires, and Larkin hits it hard, base hit. That ball's into left center field. Dave Henderson coming over to make the pickup and wheel it back toward the infield. And let's ring the old cash register one more time. Another $1,000 donation for the Caring Program for Children. From Cellular One and Community Mutual, it now stands at $62,400. And that base hit by Larkin will stir him up in the Oakland bullpen. And yes, Dennis Eckersley will start to throw along with left-hander Rick Honeycutt. Well, Herm Winningham, who has had a base hit in 2 times to the plate. Lansford will again play him shallow at third base. 6 hits now for the Reds. Larkin's first of the night as he leads at first base. And the stretch and the pitch, and here's a bunt attempt, but foul, and that ball apparently went off the left wrist of plate umpire Ted Hendry. Got him on either the wrist or the hand as Winningham fouled it off. Well, we've had 2 blowouts in this World Series, 7-0 in Game 1, 8-3 last night in Game 3. 2 close ones, the 10-inning 5-4 Reds win when Oliver beat Eckersley with a base hit at Riverfront on Wednesday night, and this one here, 1-0 Oakland. The Reds have had pressure all night long and opportunities and have simply not been able to come up with a key hit or a fly ball. And Stewart steps off, checks Larkin out at first. Have attempted but 1 stolen base tonight, and that was Hatcher after being hit by a pitch in the first inning, and Jamie Quirk threw him out. Winningham takes the bat away, and that's strike 2. Well, that pitch looked inside and high. So Herm trying to move Barry along with a bunt. Instead finds himself in a 2-strike hole, and things continue to go right for Oakland. But I guess if you're an Oakland fan, you've got to be saying to yourself, well, sooner or later it had to happen. It has tonight, at least through 7. Winningham drops the bunt off the third base side. A good one picked up by Quirk. Throwing, didn't get him. Base hit by Winningham. Good bunt by Herm. Stewart broke off the mound. Quirk ran out to the third base side, picked it up, fired to McGuire, and Winningham beat it out, and the Reds had their first 2 men on base. Joe would want to say, here we go again. and he squares to bunt and takes the bat away, and that's ball one. Well, if they carry on through with the assignment of having O'Neill bunt, we can tell you the only sacrifice bunt he had the entire 1990 season was in the first game of the year, that extra inning win down in Houston. And now that Larkin and Winningham have put together back-to-back base hits, at least on the first pitch, O'Neill showed bunt. The runners lead, Stewart deals. And O'Neill bunts third base side. That's a good one. Stewart with only one play, and he almost safe. Safe. The throw took Randolph off the bag, and O'Neill is aboard, and the bases are loaded. All put down an excellent bunt. Stewart picked it up and threw. Randolph reached into foul territory with his foot on the bag, but had to come off, in the opinion of Randy Marsh. And the Reds have loaded him up with nobody out. And Tony out there arguing now with Randy Marsh. Willie Randolph is coming in on the conversation, but boy, give O'Neill a lot of credit. He got a good one down. And it looked like O'Neill pulled something en route to first base. Replay we saw, he's off the bag.
Marty, the thing is where Willie was not, if he's standing on the bag, he's out, but his foot was to the home plate side of the bag and wasn't in contact with it. There's no question that he got the ball, but his foot was not in contact with the bag. And Randy Marsh, the first base umpire, he really had a good angle on calling the play. For that, a sacrifice for O'Neill, and charge Dave Stewart with a throwing error. So the bases are loaded, nobody out, and the batter is Glenn Braggs, who pinch hit for Eric Davis back in the second. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. The infield playing back, and the pitch on the way, and Braggs fouls it back and out of play, and that looked like a pretty good pitch to hit. It is indeed amazing, given the plight of this Oakland ball club, that Tony La Russa is electing to stay with Dave Stewart rather than bring on Dennis Eckersley. I think that's what Eckersley's for. But this is really, I know Tony has run the ball club, and he feels Stewart's still throwing well, I guess.
Braggs down a strike. Here comes the pitch, and it's swung on and grounded toward shortstop, fielded by Gallego. He throws to second, and that's all they get. They got the force out at second base on Paul O'Neill as Larkin comes across with a tying run. Winningham goes to third, and Braggs picks up the run batted in. So it's all tied up at 1-1 here in the 8th inning with a go-ahead run down at third base, and the batter Hal Morris. Now, Tony or Lou Piniella out of the dugout signaling for Morris to come back. He wants to talk with Hal. And this kid has really struggled. We mentioned prior to him grounding into that one-out bases-loaded double play in the 6th inning, how he's simply not been able to get the ball in the air. And it looks like Tony La Russa is going to call on left-hander Rick Honeycutt, although he's not made the motion down there as yet. He's just now reached the mound.
Well, of course, Hal has had his opportunities in the 6th inning, had an opportunity and grounded into a double play with one out, and certainly we hope that things will come out better this time. I think Tony might be talking over the possible suicide squeeze or the possible double steal by Braggs and Winningham. Just kind of going over things with Connie Lansford, Jimmy Quirk, and Dave Stewart, and Lansford has a word with Mike Gallego, and now Gallego goes over to have a word with Willie Randolph. So the infield will play halfway, where they can either go to the plate or go for the double play.
And again, Hal Morris looking for a pitch that he can get up in the air, short of getting a base hit, at least hit a fly ball deep enough to enable Winningham to score from third. Stewart, of course, working out of the stretch, and his pitch, and it's taken down low, ball one. And he had squared to bunt. I don't know if a safety squeeze might have been on.
Marty, I think maybe to keep him from swinging at the first pitch that Lou, and this is just a guess.
Good
Lou
point.
said, hey, you go bluff a bunt on the first pitch.
Lansford's playing a step or so in on the grass at third. As Joe mentioned, Gallego and Randolph are about halfway. And a step off by Stewart. Credit Braggs with a run batted in. Grounded grounded to short. They got the force play on O'Neill, who appeared to pull something, running from home plate to first base. Then went in and attempted successfully to break up a double play. Now the 1-0 Nopa throw on to first base, and Braggs is back. A run, 7 hits, an error for the Reds. A run, 2 hits, and an error for the A's. The game is tied here in the 8th inning at 1-1. The go-ahead run at third base in Winningham. Morris waiting on the pitch. And Stewart unloading to the plate. And a swing and a high fly ball hit back into right field. That's going to get the job done. Willie McGee makes the catch. Winningham tags and comes home. And the Reds in the 8th inning have taken a 2-1 lead. Frustration after frustration, Hal Morris drives one back into right field, and Winningham scores after the catch by McGee. Cincinnati has taken a 1-run lead and a big step toward a possible 4-game series sweep. Here's Chris Sabo, who is 3 for 3 tonight. 8 hits in his last 10 times up in this World Series. And the pitch to him is taken for a strike. Sabo has collected 9 hits in the 4 games, so a hit now would equal the World Series record for total hits in a 4-game series. And the runner goes, and the pitch is fouled off. Braggs will come back, and the count is 0-2 on the Reds' third baseman, now batting an even .600 in this World Series. It looks like the Reds are going to get their bullpen up and going. Randall Kirk will start to throw along with Rob Dibble. Stewart had 2 strikes. Braggs back at first. The pitch and a very high pop-up will be in play in foul territory. Jamie Quirk defers to Mark McGuire, who makes the catch, and that ends the inning. But the Reds get 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. And at the end of 7.5, it's the Reds 2 and the Athletics 1. The Reds have taken a 2-1 lead. Oakland comes to bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jose Rijo, having retired 16 in a row since walking Ricky Henderson with 2 out in the second, will be facing a pinch hitter to begin the Oakland 8th. The left-handed batter, catcher Ron Hasse, to hit for Mike Gallego, then Ricky Henderson, then Willie McGee, and if he needs any help, plenty awaits in the Reds bullpen with right-hander Rob Dibble and left-hander Randall Kirk Myers. Hasse hit .213 during the regular year, 5 home runs, 22 RBIs. Rijo through 7 has been magnificent. His first pitch of the 8th inning to Hasse, and it's taken for a strike. Ron was the first game starter behind the plate, or make that the second game starting catcher for Oakland. He checks his swing on a fastball, and the count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. And drove in a run in game number 2. He had a hit in 3 times up and got an RBI on a sacrifice fly. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rijo sights the sign, kicks and he throws, and the pitch is in the dirt. Hasse goes down as the ball bounces away from Joe Oliver. So 2-1 on the pinch hitter for Oakland. Sacrifice fly. Breaks a 1-1 tie after Braggs hit into a force play at second to get the tying run in at the top of this inning. And at this stage, he can bet the ranch that Lou Piniella will not waste any time in going to his nasty boys, and Dibble and Myers are the 2 guys that are up and ready if needed. Here's the pitch. And he went strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Canseco out of the Oakland lineup tonight and has played the role of spectator. Rijo with a break-even pitch, and Hasse grounds one toward second base. Duncan makes the pickup. He throws, and there's 1 out. That will bring up Ricky Henderson, who's flied to left, walked, and struck out. Sabo deep at third, guarding the line. Now coming a step or so away from the line at third base. The pitch to Henderson has taken strike, and Rijo has been absolutely amazing. First pitch, strike after strike after strike. 0-1 the count. Henderson with one out in the bottom of the eighth. Taking, and that pitch just a little bit high to level the count at 1-1. I'll tell you, win or lose this ball game, a big amount of credit has to go to Jimmy Stewart and Larry Barton Jr. for the scouting reports that they turned in on Oakland before this series ever got underway. Henderson swings and misses, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Larry, a West Coast scout for many years in the Reds organization. Jimmy, of course, a Reds advanced scout, looking at major league clubs during the year, and you just can't underline the importance enough of the good job that they have done. Here's the pitch, and Henderson goes. He went, yes indeed. Hendry throws the right hand up. Oliver drops the ball, and now will throw on to first base to complete the strikeout, and Hendry gives it to Henderson one more time just to let him know, you're gone. That is 8 strikeouts for Rijo, and with every out he records, I'll tell you, it's going to be awfully tough to determine if the Reds win this game, who's going to be the most valuable player. But Rijo would certainly be a serious contender if the Reds go on to win tonight and complete a 4-game series sweep, along with people like Chris Sabo and Billy Hatcher. Those guys down in the bullpen, it's not going to be easy choice at all. Here's Willie McGee with 2 outs. And he swings and hits it to center field. Herm Winningham moving toward right center. He's got it. And the A's are out in order, and that's 19 in a row now, retired by Rijo. And at the end of 8, the Reds 1 inning away from a world championship. They lead the A's 2-1. 2-1 Cincinnati. We're in the top of the 9th inning here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Dave Stewart still on the mound as he goes to work against Todd Benzinger, and the pitch is swung on and bounced to Randolph at second. He moves toward first to field, and he tosses on to Mark McGuire. A change on the Oakland infield. Mike Bordick, the rookie, who we alluded to earlier tonight, has now taken over at shortstop from Mike Gallego. And the hitter is Joe Oliver. He's doubling 3 times up. With a run in the first, the Reds scored twice in the 8th inning. Here's a pitch to Oliver, and it's swung on and fouled away. Strike 1. Myers and Dibble have now retired to the bullpen bench. They will no doubt be back up and throwing when Rijo goes back out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Swung on and a high fly ball to left. Ricky Henderson comes on to put it away for out number 2, and we'll pause for station identification on 700 WLW. Dave Henderson has retired the first 2 batters in the 9th inning and now goes to work on Mariano Duncan. He throws, and Duncan takes a strike. I'm sure Dave Stewart has to wonder, or will be wondering, as he heads toward that third base dugout when he gets a final out of the Reds' 9th inning, whether he will get a chance to pitch again in 1990. Here's a pitch, and it's swung on, and that one's in the air to center field. Dave Henderson, who will lead off the bottom of the 9th, makes a catch, and that's all for Cincinnati. After 8.5 innings of baseball, the Reds are 3 outs away from a world title. They lead Oakland 2-1. Well, the Oakland Athletics, after a great year that saw them win 103 games during the regular season and then sweep the Red Sox in the American League Championship Series, have come down to 3 final outs. They trail the Reds by 1. Cincinnati, with a world championship in its grasp for the first time in 14 years, and Rijo will have to get some tough customers to nail it down. Dave Henderson leads it off, and the pitch is swung on and missed. Once again, Myers and Dibble are up in the bullpen. A right-handed batter in Henderson, a left-handed batter in Baines, and a right-handed swinger in Carney Lansford. That is the trio who will definitely bat off Rijo here in the 9th inning. His strike 1 pitch to Henderson is fouled straight back, and Rijo in front 0-2. For the record, Henderson has popped to second, struck out, and fly to center field. He takes his time settling back in. The outfield is deep and straight away. Rijo rocks walking on the mound, throwing, and just down low and close enough for Henderson to think about. He started the bat around ever so briefly and was able to check it in time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bragg's deep in left, Winningham in center, O'Neill in right. Sabo deep at third, guarding the line as Benzinger is at first. Here's a pitch. And strike 3 call. He got him looking. And that is 9 strikeouts for Jose Rijo. And it is the 20th consecutive batter that he has put aside since the walk to Henderson with 2 out in the second inning. And now Lou Piniella slowly making his way out of the dugout. And we are probably going to see Randy Myers be brought on to face a left-handed batter, which would then possibly put in the mind of one manager, Tony La Russa, to bring Jose Canseco off the bench to hit. Lou has just now reached the stadium mound. Rijo standing there with hands on hips, and the call has immediately gone to the bullpen for Randall Kirk Myers. So Rijo, nothing short of brilliant tonight for 8 1/3 innings, leaves having retired 20 in a row and 9 strikeouts, and leads by a run. Myers will come on to attempt to finish it, and we'll be back in just a moment. Randy Myers on in relief, and as expected, Tony La Russa counters that move by bringing on the Cuban, as he is affectionately known on the Oakland Ball Club, Jose Canseco, to pinch hit for Harold Baines. The much maligned Canseco in this World Series. All the problems he had defensively in right field in the 2 games at Riverfront, and his anemic bat with only 1 hit in 11 times up. That a home run at Riverfront on Wednesday night, a gargantuan blast to the opposite field into the green seats in right. And he steps to the plate now, a non-starter tonight. It was shocking in many quarters of the masses of media who have covered this World Series. But he is at the plate tonight with one final chance at producing. And the pitch from Myers is at the knees for a call strike. We may see Randy Myers face, well, we'll see. He's facing Canseco, batting for Baines, and we may well see Rob Dibble come on to face Carney Lansford. But Myers gets a quick strike in. The Reds leading 2-1 with 1 out in the ninth. The pitch on the way, and a tie to even the count. After a year that saw him hit 37 home runs while driving in 101 runs, tailed off badly in the final 6-7 weeks of the year because of a back problem. Myers unloading, and it's fouled back and will fall just below our broadcast booth. Randy in front, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oakland led until the Reds scored twice in the 8th. And that's the score, 2-1. Cincinnati 2 outs away from a world championship. Jose Rijo, 8 in the 3rd innings, 2 hits, 1 run earned, 3 walks, 1 intentional, and 9 strikeouts. Myers to the belt and to the plate, and it's high, and it's 2-2. It has become a rather chilly night here in Oakland, California. The Reds fans with the ball club sitting in the upper deck, and they are way up in the sky, hoping that the bullpen and the Nasty Boys can finish it off. Canseco with a late swing, but with good bat speed, and got around on it to foul it off. The A's came into this 4th game with a team batting average of .245. Compare that with the Reds' .342. Oakland has been checked on only a 1st inning double by Willie McGee and a run-scoring single by Carney Lansford. They've not had a hit since the 1st. It is 2-2 on Canseco. Oliver sets the target, the pitch, and just missing with a breaking ball down and in to run it full. Steps back on again as he's run the string out. Canseco right down on the end of the bat. Swung on, chopped toward third. Sabo charges. He gets, he throws, and they're 2 out. Routine ground ball to a charging Chris Sabo at third. And now will Lou Piniella stay with Randy Myers against Carney Lansford, or will he bring on right-hander Rob Dibble? Apparently, he's going to stay with Myers, and Lansford, who has had the last Oakland hit, steps to the plate representing Oakland's last hope. He is since the first inning, single, flied out and grounded out. Myers kicks and throws. Lansford takes it high. Ball 1. Their last World Series appearance in 1976 resulted in a 4-game sweep of the New York Yankees. 14 years later, they're trying to do it to Oakland. And Myers comes head high. 2 balls and no strikes. Jamie Quirk is due to bat next, but we note that Terry Steinbach has come out of the dugout and has moved to the on-deck circle. And if Randy Myers is unable to knock off Lansford, I think without question we'll see Dibble brought into the ball game. He has grounded out Canseco after Rijo struck out Henderson to begin the ninth. Myers needs a strike, and it's chopped foul off third, 2-1. 7-0 in Game 1, Cincinnati. 5-4 in 10 in the second game at Riverfront. Last night, 7 in the third, the Reds rolled to an 8-3 victory, and they lead 2-1 with 1 out to go in the bottom of the ninth inning. 1 out away from a world title.
Myers underhanding the ball that Ted Hendry gave to him and gets a new one back, and typically goes to the third base side of the mound and walks straight up to the pitching rubber. Lansford, good hitting Oakland third baseman, steps in, levels a bat. And Myers bringing it. And the pitch is hit in the air. Foul off first. Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds. As you might expect, they pile out of the dugout. They are jumping up and high-fiving. All smiles as Lou Piniella and his coaching staff break out of the dugout. Gloves and caps all over the infield. The Cincinnati Reds have done the absolute improbable by defeating the club considered to be the best in Major League Baseball, and they've done it in a 4-game series sweep.
The Reds are in a huddle around the mound, just to the first base side of the mound. Security guards have come out and onto the field. The Oakland players, they have to be in a state of shock, as they have been since Game 1, when the Reds beat Dave Stewart 7-0, and they have never looked back.
14 years have gone by where the Reds have been sitting and watching. And now in 1990, they have claimed a World Championship, and they have without question stamped themselves in this first year of a new decade as unquestionably the best team in Major League Baseball.
2-1 tonight to complete the series sweep. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, the scene down on the field here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum is something that all of you have seen many, many times before. Obviously, it's extra special tonight because those celebrating are wearing Cincinnati red. Most of the players have now left the field. Joe Oliver, we can see, is still out there. Jose Rijo is being interviewed by his father-in-law, Juan Marichal, the man who Joe, of course, had on his pregame show tonight. Juan, a part of the broadcasting team, sending the game back to the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, Venezuela, the other Latin American countries, and Rijo right now appears to be the only Reds player still on the field, along with Glenn Braggs, no doubt being interviewed to be sent out, I would imagine, to Hawaii. The Reds trailed for most of the night. They were able to rally for 2 runs in the 8th inning. Glenn Braggs reached on a fielder's choice to get the tying run in, and then Hal Morris, who's had a most frustrating World Series in his rookie year in Major League Baseball, delivered a fly ball to Willie McGee in right field that brought Herm Winningham home with a run that proved to be the game winner. The pitching tonight was unbelievable. Jose Rijo left with 1 out in the 9th inning after getting the first batter, Dave Henderson, on a call third strike. 19 batters in a row. Rijo retired down the stretch. Randy Myers picked up where he left off. He got pinch hitter Canseco to ground out to Sabo at third, and then ended it and wrapped up the World Championship, getting Carney Lansford on a foul pop to first baseman Todd Benzinger. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and 7 men left on for the world champion Cincinnati Reds. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 4 men left on for the Oakland Athletics. Rijo gets his second victory in this World Series. I got to like his chances of being the most valuable player. And a save goes to Randy Myers. The loss, of course, pinned on Dave Stewart, who went all the way in a losing effort, his second losing effort in the 4-game series sweep. The Reds, I don't know what more you can say about them. Overachievers, I have to wonder. They simply kicked their level of play up 1 or 2 notches when the regular season came to an end and the postseason started, beating the Pirates 4 out of 6 in the National League Championship Series and doing what nobody ever expected to happen, and that is sweep the Oakland Athletics 4 in a row to win the World Championship. 2-1 the final score. Stay tuned. Joe comes up next with the star of the game show. We, of course, a little bit later on will be back down interviewing the people involved in what has been a truly memorable season. So stay tuned. Joe coming up next with the star of the game show. Once again, the final score as the Reds complete a 4-game series sweep to win the World's title, beating Oakland tonight 2-1.
Yeah, I'll tell you, nobody can say that they gave it to us. Nothing was given to us all year, wire to wire, and then we weren't given much of a chance with Pittsburgh. They were picked for favorites, and we weren't given a chance at all with Oakland. And nobody can say that we nobody can say we walked into this thing. We went out and beat them, and we won it. And we won it fair and square, and we're number one. We're the world champions.
The 1990 Reds baseball season exemplifies what America is all about and what made this country great. That hard work and dedication and the will to win and pride in your work. And I think that was very evident on this ball club this year, and I'd like to just tip my hats to them all. They played their hearts out, and they're world champions.